to the next video in the Node.js series. In the last video, we learned how to set up a basic Express server and how it helps us write cleaner code compared to the built-in HTTP module. Now that we know how to handle basic routes in Express, in this video, we are going to take the next step, that is handling form submission. So we already have built a basic HTML form. Now we are going to send the data to the server using the either get method or post method, and then print that data right on the browser. So no database, no complexity, just a simple practical demo. So this is going to be a real world task, whether you're building a login form, let's say a feedback form, or even a registration form. This is how all form submissions will begin behind the scenes in Express. Now we already have the front end file. So first of all, we'll be using the get method for the form submission. And now we need a backend file which is going to handle all the processing. So I'm going to create a file as form submit.js. So first thing is you need to import Express from Express, and you need to create the instance. Const app equals to Express. We need to now see how we can send our HTML file over the browser. So we have to use the app instance, attach the get method, mention the URL, and pass the request and response parameters inside the callback function, and use response. You need to use send file method. Now inside the send file method, you can simply specify the name of the file that you have created. So we created form.html. So we're going to simply send this file. This piece of code is only going to handle your sending or serving the form.html on the browser. Now we have to handle the submission. So use app.get method again. We'll be using post method also. For now, we are going to use get method. I'm going to use the URL as submit because here in the action I'm using submit. So these two must remain the same. And make sure that this get method should also be exactly same here. That is the get method. Right. Now pass the callback, request, and response. Now we'll be using object destructuring. So we are having two text boxes, and we'll be creating two variables. Const, first one is username, second one email, equals to request.query. Now we'll be understanding why we are writing this. Now let's see what is this request.query. It's an object containing the query parameters sent in the URL of a GET request. So now this line extracts the username and the email properties from request.query object and creates two variables, username and email, holding the respective values. Whatsoever the user will be inputting inside those text boxes will be assigned to these two variables. Let's check the result on the browser. Localhost 3000, and you see an error, path must be absolute or specify route to response.send file. We have to fix this error, and there are some changes that we need to make right now. So first of all, we are going to import the path module. Import path from path. I'll explain whatsoever I'm doing right now. Then import file URL to path from URL module. Import dir name from path. We have to now recreate the dir name for the ES6 module using const file name equals to file URL to path, import dot meta dot URL, and then const dir name underscore dir name equals to directory name and pass file name. We are using import file URL to path from URL. This will import this function from Node.js built-in URL module. And this function will convert a file URL into a file path, right? And this one, dir name, this imports the dir name function from the Node.js built-in path module. So this function will give you the folder path of the file path. Means inside whatsoever the folder it will be residing, it will be able to give that path of the particular file you want to send on the server. Now, these are the two lines using which we are recreating the file name and dir name in the ES6 module. Now, the first line is actually converting the current module's file URL into the real path. So I can give you just one example over here. Just imagine that this is your real path. The real path will be converted into the absolute path, that is this one. And the second line, this will extract just the folder path from that file path. So together, now the second line will extract just the folder path from that file path. Now together, they allow you to work with file and directory paths like you would be using in CommonJS. The actual point is that when we use CommonJS, means when we use require method, we don't have to utilize all these. In that, the dir name underscore dir name function is present by default. So now we are using the ES6 way of importing the module, so we will have to utilize all these lines of code. Okay, so still it's not yet done. Now you have to use the path dot join and you have to mention, right, path dot join and specify the first parameter as the dir name, comma, if you have any subfolder that can be mentioned, but we will be testing that later. So for now, we are good to go with this. Let's check the result on the browser. So great, now we can enter our name. Let's say I type this and I'll be typing the email and submit. Now you can see that the form is submitted. Now let's understand what this expression does. This expression creates a complete file path by combining your current directory. This represents your current directory along with the subfolder if any, but I have not mentioned any subfolder because my file is outside the subfolder. and your actual file name. Now this ensures that the path is correctly formed for any operating system you're using, Windows, Linux, Mac. This will automatically add the appropriate slashes. It can be a forward slash or backward slash, because some operating systems use backward slashes, some of them use forward slash. So this is useful when you want to reliably locate a file in a specific folder regardless of where your script is executed from. The things might be pretty much clear as of now. So the result that we have got here, you can observe in the URL, we are having a query string, username as NAV and email equals to the email. Now this query string is because of the get method. As we already know, the get method uses the query parameters. So this is not the reliable way of submitting your form. Obviously, we should be using the post method for this, so that the data is more secure and more amount of data could be handled. Let's now utilize the post method. So there are certain changes that we have to make. First one is we have to change this one to a post method. Second one, the post method must be mentioned here as well. And the post method also handles the data using the body instead of query. And last but not the least, post method doesn't work without a particular middleware. We'll be discussing the middlewares in detail very soon, but for now I'm going to use app.use. It's going to use a middleware, express dot URL encoded. And so for now we are going to pass extended as true. See, even if you don't mention the extended as true, it's totally fine, it will work out. So the reason is, this is only if in case you want to handle complex data structures or objects. Otherwise it's not required at all. So as of now, you can get back to the browser, check your result again. Forms, mention some data, you submit, and now you have got your data, you have submitted the form, and you can also see there are no more query parameters. This is just a middleware. Middleware means that a piece of functionality, I'm just telling you in simple terms, a functionality that must be executed before you do some other kind of functionality. So it's a middleware that parses incoming form data and makes it available inside the, or you can say as request.body inside Express. Now the real reason behind writing extended as true or extended as false, see, it's very simple. If you use extended as false, then your field names, the simple field names, you can use simple field names and they will be considered as simple only. They will be treated as simple strings. So there won't be any nested data. But in case if you want to have complex name, you want to represent it as something like this, as user of username and user of email. Now here in this case, if we're using extended false, they are still simple strings. But if we use extended as true, then Express will give you a nice JavaScript object. That would, you can say something, it would look like this. So that's the reason we use extended as true. Now how would we actually understand this? So first of all, ensure that you're having a complex name here. Secondly, you're using the true extended as true. And thirdly, just try using response.send, not response.send, console. Let's better console our data. Console.log request.body. Right. And for now, I'm simply going to just remove or comment, or better remove, I'm going to remove this line. Right. So let's check. Let's fill the form data. Click on submit. So as of now, there will be no response here because I have deleted that message from response.send. We are going to get the result on the console. You can see we are having a complex object over here, which is a nested object. Now, secondly, you now put here false instead. Okay. Now let's see that how our data structure will be handled. Get back to the browser, resubmit your form, check the result again, and can you see that now your form field name is being considered as a string? It's a simple string. So this is how we handle form submission. Now a brief introduction to body parser. Earlier we used this separate module to handle the post method, data parsing in Express applications. But since Express 4.16, I guess, this functionality is built in with this line, that is express.url encoded. So we don't have to install or import body parser separately to handle the post data. But earlier we used to. So that's why it's not required anymore. So, alright guys, that's all for this video. And take care of yourself. Stay tuned for the next one.